Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the Italian F.C.20 Bis, sitting at 2.3 beta rating. What a nice little bugger this is. It has a few tricks up its sleeve. Now it is an attacker, but it is interesting because it has a large caliber gun, which you should not use frontally on medium tanks. Definitely not. Shoot it from the back. Much more effective. Good morning, Jengar. Yes, thank you. But it has some fun characteristics. For example, the stall maneuver speed is fantastic. To roll over, to come out of a stall maneuver is very quickly in this plane, and it has also a window between 3 to 400 kilometers an hour where its turn rate is quite good. The elevator is definitely working on this thing, and you don't want to be slow in it because it becomes a little bit sluggish. But in the stall maneuver itself, it can turn very quickly from a loop at the top end, and it stalls quite quickly. I'm not saying about that it's fantastic in the stall because the vertical energy retention is bad, but it has some nice characteristics to surprise people with, and that can be a lot of fun, getting a few fighter kills as you go through columns, because this caliber gun is fantastic. I think it was 37 millimeter, 42 rounds, quite nice. I actually forgot. God damn it. I actually forgot to put down the I think it is it is supported, that big gun, 37 millimeter, and I forgot the designation of it. I forgot to put it down in my stat card here. It is supported by two 12.7 millimeter Breda Safat machine guns with 350 rounds per gun, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw 700 for both guns, so that's 350 average on the gun. So the firepower is cool, and it has a lot of ammo for the machine guns, which is nice for soft targets. Anyway, let's go into the speeds. 2.3 battle rating, as I said. Maximum speed in this plane at sea level without web is 325, and with web 354. At 4,500 meters this is 317 without web and 340 with. And finally at 6,500 meters still go up to 255 without web and 261 with web. Now, it is not that fast. It's not a fast plane. It's actually quite slow, especially on the higher altitudes. It doesn't climb very well there, but on the lower altitudes it is come on, give me explosions. Yes, thank you. Boom. So yeah, not a fast plane. In a dive it is reasonable when you have those cruising speeds. Top speed in the dive is 684 before she redlines and 740 before she rips apart. Now that's actually, I found that quite decent after I found out the cruising speeds, the maximum speeds in a straight line. The top speed in the dive is actually decent, so you can go into that dive and in a down tier against some of the biplanes, early monoplanes, it will do quite well. Control stiffening though starts already at 400, big tick in the roll rate, which is bad to begin with, and then at 500 you almost completely lock up. It still rolls a little bit, but you don't want to be in a dive then, because you're probably not going to come out, which is not something you want. Now the stall speed in this plane is 140 kilometers an hour, which is actually quite decent, and as I said, the stall behavior is very good indeed. And it can be very fun to bring people into a stall maneuver and to just roll over very quickly while people think they have time to get away. Well, they don't. In this plane really does those stall maneuvers well because of the fantastic elevator authority. Yeah, although it is not always true on all speeds and in every situation that elevator authority. The firepower in the plane is good, although it is a bit hit and miss, of course, with that 37 millimeter. You would love to have explosion all the time, but for example here we get 3 shots into that tank in the backside, top backside, let's say. Well, at least armor over there, but I didn't get it. Now that's a bit from the front, and I did this. as my frustrations mounted on this tank, this indestructible tank. Bloody hell. But it was outside of the timers. Didn't get a death for that one. Ammo load, as I said, is good. 42 rounds for the 37 and 350 rounds for the machine guns is awesome. You can get a lot of soft targets with that. Be aware of the drop off of those 12.7 millimeters though. They do not fire very straight. They almost feel like 30 millimeters sometimes. Acceleration in a straight line is below average. Doesn't accelerate very well, this plane. In a dive it's decent though. Not initially, but needs to speed up a little bit. Once it speeds up, decent acceleration. In the second half of your dive, the energy retention in the horizontal and in the vertical is bad. It doesn't really hold its energy well in vertical maneuvers, loses a lot of speed there, and you definitely want to be careful. But as I said, that's compensated by this great stall behavior on the lower speeds. When you use the elevator to turn the plane around, it goes really fast. And you keep control very well. And with fighters stalling out below you that think they have some time, they get away. They don't have time because you pull out of the stall maneuver and have control back way quicker than them. The only problem is that this plane has the energy retention is not great. So you really need to have that energy advantage to pull that off. Climb rate in the plane is decent. Nothing too shabby for an attacker. It can climb at 15%, which is decent. Turn time is average to decent with flaps. And that is increased a little bit towards good when you are between 300 and 400 kilometers an hour. That is the sweet spot for this plane, where it pulls best on its elevator. But as I said, it's a weird plane. It's a weird plane when it comes to that, because between 300 and 400 it feels very nice on the elevator. Below 300 feels less, and when you come close to the stall speed, the elevator pulls very nice and you keep control very well. So it's very specific. Now the flaps rip off at 400 kilometers an hour. So there is, we have a fireball, 2 fireballs. I didn't want this fireball on me, but on 2 engines even. We got completely obliterated, but we got the VG33 C1 on fire, and that's good. Yeah, so 400 on the flaps, that's actually quite good when you look at the straight line speeds in this plane, which are all below 350 basically, except for the web speed on sea level, which goes to 354. But the 400 for the flaps, they only rip off in a dive, and you don't want to make long dives anyway, so you're good. Pretty good. Roll rate, as I said, is bad. Doesn't roll fantastically well. That's just the way it is. Overall maneuverability is no more than average. The overheating is also average. On the higher altitudes, it overheats very quickly with web. On the lower altitudes, you can take a little longer. So yeah, it's alright. It's manageable, let's say. Durability in the plane is good. It can take a good bit of damage. And that is always a good thing to have in an attacker, as you will get Doven on. And in most matches you will take a few hits. Now I would classify this plane, and of course you do have a few bombs, but the main feature of this plane is its bigger caliber gun, 37, and you want to attack columns with that. So it's really a close air support, this plane. It can carry a few bombs as well. The best load is 160 kilogram, but you also have 100 kilograms and 50 kilograms and 25 kilograms, I believe, if I remember correctly. Forgot to put it down, god damn it, I'm getting old. I think this plane will be fantastic in ground RB, to be honest. I think that gun can wreak havoc there, and combined with a few bombs, it can be a lot of fun to fly there, I believe. You can also fight fighters, so it's very versatile in its usage. And here it's just a column attacker in air RB with devastating surprises for enemy fighters. If your 37mm hits, it destroys. and that is nice. You do get a bit of damage here and there. As you see here, the plane handles the damage quite nicely, and it's just an all-round steady performer. I quite like the F.C.20 Bis here. It's a nice early plane for the Italians. Let's see what we got. Final Blow, Thunderer, Mission Maker, 36,000 silver lines and 5,000 research points. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now, if you have to have an early plane added, and this is the one, we can't complain. This is a fun plane to fly. The F.C.20 Bis, a good attacker, a good plane to fly at a column with. It has plenty of ammo on the 37. Here we have it, Breda model 39, 37, 45 cannon. That's a mouthful, isn't it? 42 rounds though, not 15, not 20, not 30, no, 42 rounds, which is nice. It has a turret as well, which I forgot to mention, with 650 rounds. And yeah, the Breda Stavat machine guns, I got to get correct at least from the top of my head, with 350 rounds per gun. And I took the biggest bombs, of course. But all-rounder, great as a CAS plane, good for ground RB. And in air RB, as I said, it's a close air support. You don't want to go after bases with this thing. You don't want to really start this plane as an interceptor or something in that role. You can do it, but the 37mm is not reliable enough to do that on a consistent basis. You'll get the most out of this plane when it comes to research and Silver Lion grinding as a ground attacker, column attacker, and then killing a plane or two if they attack you. So you got to keep your head on a swivel, be aware of incoming fighters, and just go at it with the columns, and you get a lot of stuff. You get a lot of reward for flying this plane. It's immediately after 8 matches my best ground attacker for the Italians. The most ground vehicle kills on this plane. So yeah, it's quite nice. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.